Well, good morning YouTube. My name's Dean Hanna. I am going to be showing you today look, my stepper motor design, and I'm using a new camera called a visualizer, so I'm still learning how to work and present it. Anyway, look, I've been designing a clock since 2012, and I finally looking towards the light, looking at the light at the end of the tunnel. So I said I'd probably, to the Woodwork Forum, I was going to show them a video, so this is what this is. Now this is the CAD program of my choice, and these are all the parts to it. I've got stepper motor here, then I've got starting at the back, I've got all the covers, right? Side cover, left cover, rear inclination cover, and the clutch cover, which is probably in the wrong spot. Then I have the what's called the inclination plate. The inclination plate tilts the stepper motor forward, back and forward. So basically, stepper motors like that, it tips it up and down from the back, and that ensures that the chain ring are perpendicular to each other. I've got the plug-in, which in that groove, the inclination plug-in goes into this inclination plate, and you see the cover, there's a groove for the cover that goes in there. It also allows the wires to come up because the stepper motor's got wires. This is the height adjuster, so this basically adjusts the height of it, so the tension in the chain. This is the magnetic clutch. This is the new it's from Tiny Clutch in Connecticut, and it's an M75, and it's a 20-tooth chain ring. Right, so we go back to reality. So you can do lots of things in the CAD space, but excuse me, reality is something entirely different. So I'm going to start with all these models. I collected all these models, made all these models, right? Various. I always start, now that I've got a 3D printer, I start with, well, you really can't see some of those, but these are the ones I've made. I've made several of them. I don't have any more. I finalised with this one. This is the aluminium one that I made. This one was really quite good for a long time, and I thought this was the final. Final one. It's quite heavy. Yeah, but what I did is that I increased the weight of my clock gears, and then I had to change the clutch. So this here is the original clutch, and what this does is freewheels as the clock moves. This can turn with the clock without activating the weights. So you put 12 volts into here, and that basically winds the weights. So this now has been superseded. I bought this in 2016, I think. Yeah, for $187 US. So of course that one's no longer needed. But this one, the M75, which was embarrassed to say on camera, but it's almost 900 Australian dollars. But look, it's a great product. Check out Tiny Clutch if you're interested, but it's the only product that I think is available that I've found anyway. Look, to be honest, I haven't done a lot of searching. I just came across this, and yeah, that's the one I'm going to use. So look, let's get down to it. Get rid of that model. We're going to now look at some of the timber models. This is one of the first timber models I made. This one just had timber screws in it, and I really didn't like timber screws at all. It was good for a prototype. So what I've gone to no timber screws, but I've gone to this system here, which has got these which uses a metal thread, right? So we're just gonna, I'll show you the metal threads. But this has got an M3 nut. Not sure if you can see that. Hold it up a bit closer. This has got an M3 nut in a 3D printed plastic sleeve, and the nut just goes in these little grooves here. And I thought that was actually a good design, and I'm quite happy with it now. This is one of the ones I was assembling this today. On the back, the change I've made to this design is that on the back of it here I've got these two socket head screws, which I'm going to put one in today. The socket head screws are for these. Okay, so on the bottom of it, you'll probably understand better when I assemble it. But there's two screws here, and they adjust the height. And I didn't want them just sitting on there. In the old design here, you can see here. Oh god, that's so overexposed. You can see the marks it left. And I know it's a small thing, but sometimes the big things are the small things, and small things are the big things. So I decided to, oh, that's the wrong end, of course. You can see those marks on the end of it. So I didn't like those. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the final one here. That goes in there. Underneath there is a 3mm nut. I'm going to get myself an Allen key, and I'm just going to tighten that up. Now I know the first thing you'll notice is that, all right, these are too long. So those little bits there, they have to come off, obviously, because they will scratch the very nice Purple Heart. Now the final material which we'll be making this from is a lump of Purple Heart. Okay, I'm probably going to resin impregnate it in a vacuum chamber, but I'm not sure yet. So that's basically this. So we're going to start then putting this together. So we've got on the bottom of the stepper motor, we've got the wires that come out. Okay, the wires exit out there, they actually travel through here and they come out this slot here. I like leaving some wires, extra wires, just in case I change my mind, because in this environment I've changed my mind a whole lot. Now I think from memory this goes here, so we're just going to put this together here. This height plate goes forward. Let me get my, there's I've made yet another filler, so these are going to go through here. Oops, nope. Hang on, reverse that. What am I doing? This is what I'm going to do now. This is why you need, so we're going to screw on, hopefully this will be the final time I do this, but this inclination plate, oh, this is out of, that's better, inclination plate. It's getting attacked by ants here. Inclination plate we're going to screw on the top of here. And I just hope that this is, no, this is good. This is what we need. Okay, now these screws just go in here, so we're going to get the right holes. Now I've stripped, of course, one of these holes. So these go through here, and they should go on very well. I know, hopefully today it all goes together and it all looks very easy, and the reason for that is that I've made it just so many times. Okay, that's better. Now this goes together like that. We're going to put in the height adjuster here. This goes in here, and I'm sure I've left that apart, but that doesn't matter. I'll put that together in later. Now we're going to go these things here, these long bolts, and get my goes in here like that. This goes through. It's going to come through. Oops. Now, this will take me a couple of goes. So this has to go through there. So put this up again. Okay, so this goes in here. I know you would think that after I've made this a number of times that I should know how it goes together, but anyway, let's do this. Push these in here, push these through. Okay, this is going to go here, and then we're going to put on this plate called the front. I call the front plate cover. It's also got this part in here, so when the magnetic clutch sits in there, it actually has to be restrained. There has to be a little bit of movement according to Tiny Clutch, who are the manufacturers. Now the nuts are sort of already partially in place, so we're going to just slightly tighten them up, and hopefully we can see there that you've got these nuts that are taking up that. The other parts we're going to put together are this thing called I call them the long infills. You've got to sort of make up names so your parts are called something in particular. They go straight in the bottom. It's on a bit of an angle. Why is that? Okay, I'll sort that out in a minute as to why. Okay, just tighten this up a bit. Needs a bit more persuasion, I think. Okay, put in the other infill, which goes here. Okay, just slides in there like that. The nut's already in place, so let's have a look. Straightening up like I wanted it to. Going to give it a bit of a squeeze, and then I'm going to relax that, because the idea is that it's not meant to be too tight. Okay, so I've come this far. Now this should move up and down for the clutch. So that's that part. Now the clutch is just going to go in like that, and we need to fit the wires into there, and they fit through there. Of course I don't have a small screwdriver on me, but they're meant to go in there and they're meant to come out there. Let's just pretend that that is what is going to happen. Okay, now through the side of it we have there's basically it's this part here, right? It's the socket head. We're just going to tighten that up, and that means that now the clutch is not going to come out. Okay, so that's pretty much, I think, pretty much it. Now the covers, oops, the covers for these, I think are, now I could have made covers out of timber, but I didn't there was not enough room for the timber, so I've made these covers, slide this out of the way, out of this tin. Okay, this is what I've made these covers from. Now this is actually a tin, this is actually an oil can that I got up at my local supermarket. Tin cans there. That's the rear cover now, which has been superseded. But there's various covers here. That's now this, obviously this one, as you can see, needs to have a hole in it, but I haven't done that yet. This plate here used to have a cutout for the wires, but that's now been superseded with a solid plate. So I'm just going to show you how they fit on together. As you notice, all these round things, they are a 5mm by 3mm magnet. Right? So these fit on like that. They should fit on pretty, oops, that's a nice sound, pretty well. This will hide under there. Okay, this is going to go over here. Sometimes, let's get this here. That's good. The last one's going to be the cover at the back, which snaps into place. And then I think I messed up because I didn't put this cover on first. But basically, that's it. That is the whole design. Okay, there. Now, what's it going to have on it? It's not going to be tin coloured, so tin coloured. It's not going to be just tin, but I'm thinking this is not going to be it either, because this is, I don't like this look, but it's going to have something like this, some sort of wave design, right? So it's basically symmetrical. It's going to have something like that, okay? Oops. To get in there, let's put that in there. So it's basically going to be like that, right? Stepper motor. It's going to have like a wave sort of pattern on it. This part of the clutch is going to be hidden as well. This cutout here is where the clock gear goes, so you never see that. So you're only going to see sort of like the back of it. So you have to figure out how to do that. Alright, look, I hope this video is clear enough to understand. Look, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.